Hello.
Welcome, sir.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me today.
Sir, can we wait for the 10 minutes?
Yes, sure, that's fine.
The students are joining.
That's fine.
Thank you for the waiting, sir.
No, you're welcome. So are the students joining all from their home? They're all joining online?
Yes, sir. They are all online.
Okay. So are you one of the teachers in the school, or are you supporting students with like careers and guidance?
So sorry for the interruption. There is some technical issue.
That's fine.
Hello, Rahul sir. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah, fine, sir.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
have Jagjit sir here. Jagjit
Yeah.
Singh.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me and Rahul for this online presentation.
In fact, sir, we are very thankful and grateful to you for sparing your valuable time for our student.
No, you're welcome. I'm looking forward to talking to them.
Yes, sir. We will be starting in a while, actually. We are given 11 a.m. as a time for the student. So they will be joining with just 2-3 minutes.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm guessing a lot of your teaching has been all
Yes.
online recently. When do you plan to reopen?
Hello, sir. Exactly. Can you please pardon, sir? Can you repeat?
I was saying that at the moment, obviously, due to the pandemic, students have been learning a lot online. I was just asking, what are your plans for returning, hopefully, back to some kind of normal face-to-face teaching?
Already, sir, we have started from last 1 month. We are doing offline classes and simultaneously online also. Now there is a shift from online to offline.
Yeah.
Earlier we have shifted from offline to online. Now again we are shifting online to offline, and it was great experience now because most of the students are vaccinated. So they are coming with a good quantity and they are learning because pharmacy course is basically of the practical work, and it is a need of our profession that you should have a good practice, hands-on practice for all the instruments, equipments. So it's very good actually. The students are coming offline.
Yeah. Pharmacy, it's similar to a lot of medical courses. A lot of those students
Yeah, sir.
have that practical opportunity in a classroom or laboratory. Because
Yeah.
I used to work previously in the UK in university, and they had big pharmacy school there. So the students there have been to see the work that they do, and a lot of it is in the laboratory, and they do a lot of project works there as well.
Yeah, sir. The same thing. We are having our R&D center also. So we used to do some animal, all the activity on clinical trials of animals. All these activities are our part of our curriculum.
Okay.
And sir, some of our colleagues, they want to know about after PhD, is there any opportunities for higher studies? So that guidance session I will keep if you are able to give that. Most of the PhD aspirants, they want to go for postdoc. So I need your help in that case.
Okay, sure. I'll give you some general information about process for the talk. The general one that I'm doing for the students is just generally why go to the UK and just telling them a bit about what are the benefits, what are the processes there, and what you can do after studies as well.
Okay.
How the teaching is delivered, how the programs work there. But there'll be opportunity at the end where I can just go through those who want to go for specifically like postgraduate or research, those type of opportunities postdoc. That's a bit different process, but I can just summarize how that works also.
Okay. Or else, what we can do, sir, we will plan one session, specially for the faculty, and we are having a tie-ups with more than 45 colleges all over Maharashtra. So we will have one faculty session for you. That will
That
be
would
a
be
great.
good because I have a separate presentation specifically
Yes.
how to do research in the UK, and that explains in a lot of detail about how to apply for research program, how to do research.
Ah,
You have to do
yeah.
your you have to do like a very detailed thesis proposal for research proposal for
Yeah.
courses, and so it's a different process to normal undergraduate bachelor degree or taught master's program. The process is very different.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Rahul, sir, you have done the setting of all the PPTs and all.
Yes.
Okay.
Understood.
Dr. Chauhan,
Yes, sir.
yeah, we will start by 11:05. Okay.
Okay, sir.
I would like to introduce you, Dr. Chauhan. She is a PharmD and she is doing all the PharmD curriculum plannings and all the academic planning she is handling. Apart from that, she is having additional responsibility of training and placement, and she is doing very nice job. And she will be a coordinator for all the activities related to higher education.
Okay, it's nice to meet you.
Hello, sir. Nice to meet you too.
So most of your students, if you don't mind, what level are they studying in the college?
Sir, as per the talk with Rahul sir, we are having a crowd of third year B Pharm, then third year Pharm D, then fourth year Pharm D, and final year pharmacy, B Pharmacy, and M Pharmacy also there.
Okay.
Those who want to go for higher studies or
So
to do
most of them
some
are going to be
specific.
going for postgraduate studies then overseas, yes?
Yeah.
Thought or for research programs?
So my audio, I think, a little bit unstable. Sorry for that.
I was just saying that, so for most of your student, either they're going to go for postgraduate taught course, like a master's program specializing in a certain area, or they'll be looking for postgraduate research.
Yes. From the last batch, no, two students they are finalizing their education in USA, and I think one is planning for UK also. They are in process.
Pharmacy is popular, particularly with Indians in UK. So in the UK, you'll be surprised. In the UK, students, almost 1/3 of pharmacists are South Asian background from South Asia in the UK.
Yeah.
1/3. It's a very high proportion.
Yeah, sir, definitely. Okay, Dr. Rohini, we will start now.
Would you like me to begin?
Yeah.
Uh,
Rohini ma'am. Dr. Rohini. Dr. Rohini. Rahul will wait for a minute. Okay.
sure, sir. No problem.
Actually, Rahul sir, from today we are having holidays now.
Okay.
So we are working from home. So please forgive me for this technical glitch. Okay.
Sure, no problem, sir.
Actually, Rahul sir, from today we are having holidays. Hello, Dr. Minal Herde. Dr. Minal, ma'am. Huh. Dr. Minal, am I audible to you?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
Uh,
Rahul sir, we are having one more team member from our team, Dr. Minal Herde.
Okay.
yeah,
That's fine.
and
Dr. Minal, you can
yeah,
start.
yeah. Okay, so dear students, today we are very fortunate to have a speaker from overseas, Mr. Jagjit Singh Chema, and today we are very fortunate that we are getting insight on UK education. Okay, so very good morning to everyone. Jagjit sir, uh, very good morning, sir.
Thank you. And we're very pleased to be joining you today.
Yeah. Yeah. Good morning, students and my dear colleagues. Today we are going to start with the uh, why top 10 reasons why we should consider the UK study for or UK for the study. And this topic will be started by Dr. Jagjit Singh. And to give introduction about the Jagjit sir, Dr. Jagjit sir Chema or Mr. Chema, he is a regional manager now, and he is born and raised in the UK, and he is graduated in the UK with BA honors and human resource management, and he is having the 17 years experience at the University of Birmingham, as well as he's worked with the Russell Group, which is ranking top 100 US world ranking, and he's worked as a regional manager for the international student recruitment. So he has wide experience of the dealing with the student, and he's guiding very well how to get educate in the UK, and this is a very good opportunity for all the student. And I think all students get benefit of all this, that whatever he has the knowledge, okay, you can acquire all the knowledge. Whatever you have queries, you can ask to Dr. Mr. Jagjit Singh. He is a very well-known speaker also. So I request Jagjit sir to start with your talk.
Thank you very much for the introduction.
Dr. Rohini,
Yes, sir.
yeah, can you share the felicitation slide?
Thank you.
Jagjit sir,
Wait a minute.
Rahul sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have prepared one slide for sir
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
So I would like to present you the floral welcome from our college. Jagjit sir, please accept the virtual bouquet from
Thank
our
you very
respected
much.
principal, Dr. P.D. Chaudhary sir.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Now, Rahul sir, you can proceed with this.
Thank you.
Jagjit sir, please. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. So it's a pleasure to be joining you today. As mentioned, my name is Jagjit, and I'm a regional manager at Intake Education. So Intake Education, it's an education consultancy, global education consultancy, and we basically offer free advice and information to students on how to study abroad. All of our services are free, and we do have offices across India. So our aim is basically to ensure students receive the best guidance that they can and get into the best institution that they can that will help them build their future career. So today I'm going to be talking about the UK as a study destination. Before I begin, I'll just give you a quick introduction to myself on the next slide. So as was mentioned to you, I was born and raised in the UK and graduated in the UK as well with a bachelor's. I then worked 17 years in the UK at the University of Birmingham, which is part of the Russell Group. And today I'm going to go through top 10 reasons why you should consider the UK for your study. And I'll be sharing both work experience that I have of studied and living in the UK, as well as guiding students. So here I've just highlighted 10 key reasons that I'm going to go through in a bit more detail, but these are just key factors why I think the UK is a top destination. So there's a variety of reasons and a variety of countries that you can go to for your study, right across the world. But I really do think UK is a very strong destination for you to consider, particularly as I understand, majority of you will be looking for postgraduate programs or postgraduate research courses. So these are some key factors that I'm going to talk about in a bit more detail on the following slides. So we'll move to the next slide. So to begin with, the UK has a world-class reputation for higher education. So the UK has been delivering education for a number of years and consistently ranked in the top destinations for students to study abroad. And also, in terms of international students, students have been studying in the UK for over 100 years, international students. Many prominent Indians have studied in the UK, and the UK has got very good experience of actually welcoming international students as well. So not just the actual academic teaching that students receive, but all the pastoral care, the induction that's given to international students, the support services that you will receive throughout the whole year of your study. Universities in the UK dedicate a lot of resource towards this. So it makes the environment very comfortable for international students when they arrive and join their universities. The other point to highlight is that in the UK, majority of the university are public university. So it's very different to India, or if I was to compare it to the US, most of the top universities in the UK are all public universities. So they have to meet specific standards set by the government. And one example I'd like to share of this is the TEF, which is a Teaching and Excellence Framework. So this is something that's organized by the UK government, and they inspect the universities regularly, and then they will then look at the quality of teaching, look at the quality of the facilities, student feedback as well, and then they give rating to the universities. So the accreditation process and the quality assurance process of UK universities is very high, and that's obviously in the interest of students. So there's over 160 universities in the UK. We refer to them as higher education institutions. Now that's very small when you compare it to the US, India, China, other markets where they have a lot of universities. But the quality of the universities in the UK is very high, as I mentioned before. So there's a variety of universities in the UK, and I'm just going to give you a summary of this because they are very different. So to begin with, you have Oxbridge. So Oxbridge is basically University of Oxford and University of Cambridge. So these are the two oldest universities in the UK. They're also the most highest ranking and wealthiest universities in the UK as well. So typically they will rank regularly in the top 5, top 10 in the whole world. Now, these universities are very elite, very prestigious. And there's a number of other groups of universities that I want to inform you about. So, as I mentioned, Oxford and Cambridge, they're the two oldest universities. The next group of universities that were established in the UK are known as red brick universities. So these were established in the 19th century, and the main reason was to give more students opportunity to higher education. So quite often these universities are referred to as civic universities. And initially these were 6 institutions that were established. So University of Liverpool, Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, Bristol, Sheffield. These are very big universities in the UK. They do teaching and research, and they were basically set up to offer more opportunities for education for the local population, but also to meet the economic needs of the local population as well. So these institutions, they normally deliver courses across a variety of subject areas and departments. So typically they will cover medicine, life sciences, social sciences, engineering and sciences. They'll cover all areas. The next group of universities that I will highlight to you is the Russell Group. So this is made up of the top 24 research universities in the UK. So I would say this is the UK's equivalent to the Ivy League. So if any of you are looking to do research programs in the UK, Russell Group is a good place to start because these universities, they're not just there for teaching. One of their main focuses is actually to do research. So quite often they will have a lot of research programs, whether it's an MPhil or PhD program or postdoc. The variety of courses at research level tend to be more broad. And they also, in terms of their facilities, these universities do invest a lot in terms of research. A number of their academics will be experts in their field, and they will all bring that teaching and knowledge into the teaching that they do. Also in the UK, you have a group of universities called Post 1992. So in 1992 in the UK, a number of universities were given the opportunity to become universities. So a number of these were previously colleges or polytechnics. So there's a variety of universities. I've just given a few examples here, but these are more modern institutions. And then finally, you've also got a group of universities called Millennium Plus. So again, these are more modern institutions that have become universities. So you can see in the UK, there's a variety of choice of institutions that you can consider. You can consider very old universities, very prestigious institutions. You've then got universities that have a very strong research focus, and then you've got more modern institutions. So there's a variety that you can choose from based on your own individual requirements. So one of the points that I wanted to highlight was following on from the following slide about the UK higher education and the very good reputation that it has, and also the ranking. So the QS World University Ranking, this is conducted every year, and they look at universities across the world and they then rank them. They rank them overall ranking, and they also rank them in terms of subjects as well. So when you look at the latest QS World University Ranking, from the top 100, 18 universities are from the UK. So that's almost 20%, and that's a very high concentration when you look at the number of universities that I mentioned to you that actually. So this demonstrates that the UK is very for higher education. And these are just some of the universities that have done very well in the global rankings. And a number of these are the universities that I was mentioning to you earlier on. Many of them are from the Russell Group research universities, so have a very strong profile globally, both teaching and research. Now in the UK, there are a number of different rankings that are available. And the reason why I'm talking about rankings today is because quite often, many students focus very much on the ranking when they decide which university they want to go to. And my advice to you would be that you should use the ranking as one tool to help you find the right institution, but it shouldn't be the sole reason why you select a university, and it shouldn't necessarily be the main reason why you select a university. So ranking is just a guide. And also when you're looking at rankings, you should be looking at the overall ranking of the university, but just as importantly, you should be looking at the subject ranking for the university. Because you may have a university that's ranked top 10 in the UK, but for example, for pharmacy, it may be ranked number 40 or number 50. So when you're looking at universities, and if you are going to use ranking to help you make up your decision, look at a variety of rankings and look at both the overall ranking and the subject ranking. So I'm going to give you two examples here. So one popular ranking that's used in the UK is the Complete University Guide. So this is produced every year. It's a full list of universities, and they normally rank up to top 100, top 200 universities. So again, you can see a number of these universities very similar to the universities that did very well in the QS ranking. And then I've got one other ranking table to also show you. So this is the Guardian University ranking. So the Guardian is a very popular newspaper in the UK, and they also produce rankings every year. So one thing that you can see is the ranking between the two, and even with the QS, there's difference. So that's the other thing to bear in mind with ranking. They are very subjective. Sometimes they can use different criteria to rank universities. Typically, what most ranking tables will look at is the global reputation of the university. They'll look at number of international students, number of theses, what the quality of research is. So there's a variety of factors that are looked at when deciding ranking. So if you are going to be using ranking, my advice is look at a variety of rankings, and also look at the subject ranking as well as the overall ranking. And then that will help you determine which universities consistently are doing well. Another reason why I think you should consider the UK is simply because there's such a huge variety of courses that you can choose between. So UK universities cover all major disciplines, whether it's a traditional subject or whether you're looking to do something a more modern subject. Courses are also focused to help you learn and achieve the most as quickly as possible. So the length of courses is quite different in the UK compared to India and also compared to US and Australia. I'm going to come to that on another slide later on, but it's just to let you know that when you go to study in the UK, right from the first day, it's very focused. So the lecture, the tutorial, the classes, you'll normally begin right from the first week, and pretty soon you will start to do assessments related to that program. So it's a bit different to some other destinations that students will choose. But another positive thing about the UK is flexibility of modules. So on most courses, students will have certain core modules that you need to complete and also successfully complete as well in order to gain your qualification. But most courses will give you the option of optional modules. So these are still related to the program, but there'll normally be a variety of subject areas that you can yourself choose based on which area you're most interested in. So this also makes the course more flexible and also more interesting for students. You can learn those specific subject areas where you may have a greater interest for your future career. Many programs in the UK also have student abroad and internship opportunities. So if that's something that you're hoping to do, please look out for them. And also within the UK, there's different learning methods and assessment. So typically, students in the UK, when they're studying, they'll learn in a variety of ways. So you may have your traditional lecture, where you're in a big lecture theatre with an academic giving you a talk on a specific topic. Usually after that, most students will have tutorial classes. So these are smaller classes where you get to have more dedicated time to focus more on the subject, to ask questions with the academic. Normally there'll be case studies and discussions that you'll have within the class related to the topic. But in addition to that, there's a variety of other learning methods that are used in the UK. So if you're going to be doing a program that's related to science, life sciences, engineering, then obviously you may have to do certain laboratory work, certain practical methods of learning as well. Within the UK also, students are often encouraged to learn self-learning as well. So there'll be opportunities for you to do additional research in the libraries, use various learning journals and materials. When it comes to assessment as well, there's a variety of assessment that's used. So typically examinations will be part of most programs. In addition to that, having to submit essays or projects as part of your course, as part of the assessment will also be there as well. More commonly now, there's also many group assessments that individual students have to do as well. So not just their own work, but demonstrating how well they work as part of a team with a group of students. And then obviously, if you're going to be studying a science and engineering based course, there may be certain laboratory projects, work that you have to complete in order to as part of your assessment. So the main message I'm trying to say is that there's a variety of assessments that are used and learning methods, and that's to the advantage of the students, because everybody learns in different ways. But a key thing about the UK, which I really enjoyed when I was a student, was the universities really do encourage you to think differently. There's a lot of debates, a lot of questions that take place on courses. So typically you will have to do your research and identify the existing research that already exists or existing opinions in certain areas. And then you'll have to discuss those, but then present your own ideas. And the enjoyable part of my experience when I was at university was that the lecturers, they'd strongly encourage you to question. So it's not just going along with what they're telling you. You always have opportunities to query and debate in constructive manner with other students and also with academics. So that's something that I really enjoyed, and it's something that a lot of international students enjoy about the UK as well. Next slide, please. As a student studying in the UK, you all have access to world-class research, technology, and facilities. So UK is one of the global leaders in research. and also science as well. So you will have seen that from the recent pandemic due to the coronavirus. UK was the first, I think Oxford University was the first to help develop the vaccine. And also in a number of other areas, the UK is a leader in terms of research. A lot of this research is done in universities. So they normally have very good facilities, and most of the universities in the UK invest a lot in terms of the infrastructure. So particularly if I understand that many of you are looking to do research programs, this is a key thing that you should be looking for when you're doing your research. But typically the facilities in the UK are very good, they're very modern, and they're being used to conduct world-leading research. So as an example, 38% of Nobel laureates who studied abroad did their study in the UK. And as I mentioned, a number of the universities in the UK are research focused, typically, as I've already highlighted, Russell Group universities. The other advantage of the UK is that academics teach and do research at the same time. So quite often the academics that are teaching you, they will bring their research into the classroom. So if they're doing research within that area, they'll normally share up-to-date data relating to that, case studies relating to that as well. And that's something that really benefits you, I think, anyway, in terms of the quality of the teaching and the information that you're receiving. And then finally, the world-class learning environment, which I've already summarized. The UK universities, the campuses, the learning environments, they are very good, very positive, and you'll really enjoy the experience there. Now, finances and budget are obviously key factors in terms of determining whether you can study abroad, also which country you're going to study in, and also which university you want to go to. So the UK, in terms of budget, it can actually save you some finances. Key reason for this is that the time taken to complete courses in the UK is normally less than compared to the USA, Australia, or Canada. So for example, a undergraduate, a bachelor degree takes minimum 3 years. A master's program, whether it's taught or whether it's research, it will normally take 1 year. And then a postgraduate research program, typically known as a PhD, will normally take minimum 3 years. Now, in some cases, it can take 4, but typically what will happen is students will do their PhD over a 3-year period, and then they may take up to 1 year to do the writing up of their thesis afterwards. Some will complete within 3 years, but for some, they may need that additional year to write up their research. But a very positive thing about the UK is that I would say the majority of the universities do offer some form of scholarships. And these can vary in the size of the scholarship. But majority of the universities now, particularly for Indian students, are offering scholarships. The tuition fees also vary as well. So you can really be very flexible in terms of the type of institution you go to based on your own needs. So prices can range anything, particularly for postgraduate courses, from anything from £10,000 up to £30,000. So there's a huge variety of options available to you. And I'm sure based on your budget, we would be able to help you find a suitable university based on your budget. Living costs can also vary in the UK as well. So the most expensive place in the UK is actually London, which is the capital. So the key cost there that makes it more expensive is accommodation. But as you move out of London and the southeast, that cost comes down quite dramatically. So living costs in the UK can actually be very reasonable, particularly if you're living in private accommodation and you're going to be doing your own cooking and buying your own food, then the price and your expenses will come down a lot. In the UK, if you do go as an international student, you will have access to the National Health Service, typically known as the NHS. Now, this is one of the top healthcare services in the world. So majority of the people in the UK use the National Health Service. So it's very different to, for example, the US or even India, where many people take out private health insurance. Majority of the population, even when I was living in the UK, we use the National Health Service. So this basically allows you free access to healthcare within the UK. So if you need to see your local doctor, which is referred to a GP, general practitioner, that's free. There's no cost for that. If you need to go to the hospital for any emergency treatment, that's also free as well. And this also applies to international students when they go to the UK. You can register with a doctor for free, and if ever you need to go to meet them, you can do it. And also, if ever we're in the scenario where you have to call ambulance or go into hospital and have treatment, that would also be free for you. Students also receive many discounts in the UK. So when you go there, once you've registered with the university, you can get something called an NUS card, National Union of Students card, and you can use that in many outlets. So if you want to go to do some clothes shopping or food or cinema or entertainment, many places will give discounts to students. And the same applies to public transport. Usually as a student, you can get quite substantial discounts if you want to travel either by bus or by train. So that makes it also very cost effective for students when they're in the UK. Next slide, please. So I was highlighting scholarships earlier on, and I know for many students, they'll be looking to try to get a scholarship, both in terms of prestige. It's good for your CV and your resume that you received the scholarship from the institution, but also to support with finances as well. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, most university will offer some form of scholarships to students. Some of them can be country specific, or some scholarships will be for a specific subject or certain courses. So it's really important to do your research across different universities to see what's available, and that can really then benefit you and determine which university you want to go to. So the size of the scholarships will usually vary, anything from £1,000 up to £10,000. Usually there's not that many full scholarships that are awarded to students. They're very limited and quite challenging to get, but partial scholarships are available across most institutions. And there's normally two types of scholarships. One is an automatic scholarship. So this is when you apply for a program, as long as you meet the requirements and you receive an offer, you will then be given a scholarship. And typically this will be in the form of a deduction towards your tuition fee. The second type of scholarship that applies is one where you actually need to do an application. So this is basically where you apply for the program, and then once you've applied, you will then be able to apply for a specific scholarship. And usually there's an application form that you need to fill in and certain criteria that you need to demonstrate in order to be considered. So most of this information will be available on the university's websites, either under the course or under the international section of the website. They'll normally list scholarships for international students, and you can find the information there. Now, another reason why the UK, particularly now, is becoming very popular, particularly with students from India, is due to what's referred to as the graduate route. So the graduate route is a post-study work scheme. So the graduate route for international students, this was introduced in July 2021. And it's for students who have completed their degree in the UK after summer 2021. So when you apply for the graduate route, it's once you finished your study in the UK. So you finished your program in the UK, and then you can apply for the graduate route. So you have to do a fresh application for this. But anybody that's completed an undergraduate program or a postgraduate program will be allowed to stay in the UK 2 years after they've completed their course, once they've applied for the graduate route. And if anybody's doing a successfully completed a PhD program, they are allowed to stay for 3 years. Now, some of the very good benefits of the post-study work in the UK, because post-study work schemes do also exist in other countries as well. But some of the key benefits of the UK scheme that's introduced is that once you've graduated and you've completed your course and you want to apply for the graduate route and you do your application, you do not need to have a sponsor or an employer. So you don't need to have an offer of employment. Once you've graduated, even if you don't have a job, you can still apply for the scheme and successfully get the post-study work period. Also, as part of this, you can switch into another route after the 2 years if you're eligible. And some of those routes can lead to settlement in the UK. So one example is a skilled worker route. So if you were to study in the UK and you finish your degree, you then go and do the graduate route for 2 years. Let's say during that 2 year period, you get very good experience and then after that, you find an employer who has a job that comes within the skilled worker category, and they're willing to make you a job offer, you would then be able to switch from the post-study work scheme into that work route. And certain work routes, like the skilled worker route, over a period of time, that can also enable you to then apply for settlement in the UK as well. So this is something very positive opportunity for students if they're looking for the UK. Another very positive thing about the graduate route is that when you apply for it, you don't need to show any maintenance requirement, and you don't need to have any salary threshold as well. So that's very good. When you apply to study in the UK and you're applying for a student visa, you have to show that you have enough money for your fees and your living expenses. But when you've done that and gone to the UK and graduated, and you're applying for the graduate route, you don't have to show any financial evidence as part of the application, which is very, very positive. Also, in terms of the type of jobs that you can do, most types of employment and also self-employment are permitted. So if you want to work for organizations, you can, but even if you want to set up your own business, the graduate route allows you to do that. And the final positive aspect also about the graduate route, that it also allows dependents to extend their stay in the UK and also be allowed to work. So if you go to the UK with your dependent, say for example, if you're married and you have a partner, you could get your student visa, and then your dependent can get a dependent student visa. You can both go to the UK, and then once you finish your study, if you want to stay for the graduate route, you and your dependent can apply again at the same time. So you would have a graduate route work visa, and your dependent will be a dependent of yours as well. So you'd both have the same period of stay, and you'd be able to work, and your dependent would be able to work as well. So that's very positive. In terms of employability, so the UK is seen as a very strong destination to go for international students because it does improve their career opportunities in the long term. So the QS Global Survey of Graduate Employers found that UK universities were reputed as being top by employers in terms of ranking. So many employers across the world really do value a student that's graduated from the UK. And this is due to a number of reasons. As I mentioned to you in some of the earlier slides, when students study in the UK, they have to do a lot of critical thinking. There's a lot of communication skills that they will develop, and also being creative, thinking innovatively. So these are all skills that employers are looking for. Also, during the stay in the UK, students can do internships. As a student in the UK, you can also work part-time during your study, up to 20 hours. And many students can do placements as well, or even voluntary work. Almost all the universities in the UK have professional careers advisors that can assist you if you are hoping to do work either during your study or after your study. So that's a very keen service that's available to students that will help you and improve your opportunities. Also in the UK, many companies visit the universities to recruit graduates. So I remember when I was at my university, 2 times in the year, many employers would come and do interviews with graduates, and they were looking to recruit graduates either on trainee programs or graduate schemes. So these are like multinational companies and also local companies as well that will come to do this. So there's a variety of opportunities available to you as a student in the UK. And I think one other aspect that I wanted to highlight to you, which I think has actually benefited and will benefit international students, is Brexit. That's the UK leaving the European Union. So you may have seen this in the news, or if you're not familiar, the UK was previously part of the European Union, but it left that. And what that now means, previously, anybody from the UK could go work in Europe, and same likewise, anybody from Europe could come and work in the UK. There was no work permit requirement, there was no visa requirement. So that made the workforce very flexible, and many people would want to come to the UK to work due to higher salary and better conditions of work. Now that the UK is not part of the European Union, that's no longer as easy to do that. So going forward, individuals from Europe, they will need to meet certain criteria in order to work for the UK. And that then has resulted in more vacancies being available in the UK across a variety of sectors. And international students have the opportunity to use this to try to gain relevant employment in the UK due to these numerous vacancies that are going to be available and are continuing to be available. So I think the impact of the UK leaving the European Union will result in more work opportunities for international students when they do go to the UK. The UK is also a safe, friendly, multicultural learning environment. So within my role at the University of Birmingham, I've really traveled across many countries. I've done travel in Europe for my work, also in Africa, right across Asia, South Asia as well. So I've had the opportunity to compare countries and been there for quite long periods as well to explore. And I would really say that the UK, from my own opinion, from my perspective, it is a very safe and friendly learning environment for students. It has a very rich history and culture. So the UK is actually made up of 4 countries. It's England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. And each of these are very different in terms of their culture, in terms of accents, also slightly in terms of food as well. There's many famous cities in the UK that you can explore during your study. So not just London, there's a variety of other cities across the UK that all have their own heritage that you can explore. UK has a very beautiful countryside, many national parks that you can visit. It is a very multicultural learning environment. So the universities in the UK are very diverse. They recruit quite heavily in terms of international students. So it's quite typical. Many universities, even top-ranked universities, they will have anything from say 10% up to 30, 35% of their students will be international. So for example, the university where I used to work at the University of Birmingham, they had students from over 150 different countries studying at the university. So you can imagine how enjoyable, how exciting that learning environment is, seeing students from right across the world. There's a number of public holidays in the UK as well. I would say more if I compare it to India. So there's opportunities for you to have time off from your study and explore. Traveling in the UK is very easy. It's not a very big country. So you can travel from London, which is in the south, to Edinburgh, which is in the north in Scotland. Anything by train probably take about 5 hours. So you can go from one side to the other side of the country very easily. And public transport is what many people use. The train network, the bus network is very good in the UK. Healthcare, I've already mentioned to you in a previous slide. The National Health Service is one of the best healthcare systems in the world. And as international students, you can use that for free. And something also important is, due to the recent pandemic, international students in the UK have access to coronavirus testing, treatment as well, and also access to vaccines as well without incurring any additional charges. And I would say that the UK, in comparison to other countries, does have low crime rates. So I'm not saying that there's no crime in the UK. Every country has an element of crime, but as long as you're sensible, as long as you take reasonable precautions, you shouldn't have any issues or any problems during your study period within the UK. And the other point that I wanted to highlight was just the Indian community in the UK as well. So there's a very big Indian community within the UK, particularly within some of the larger cities. So London, Birmingham, Manchester, Leicester, Sheffield, Leeds, Nottingham. These are all cities where there's very big Indian populations, and they're very well established in the UK. So we're talking 3rd, 4th, in some cases even 5th generation now, who are living in the UK. And they play a very active part within UK society. So if your parents or any individuals are worried about where am I going to get Indian food or anything like that, there's no need to worry. It's readily available right across the UK. And then finally, I just wanted to just show you just a map of the UK. So you can see here we've highlighted England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. And some of the key cities are highlighted here. So typically when I speak with international students, they're only really familiar with London, but there's a lot of other cities that you should consider and do your research for if you are looking to study in the UK. I've just listed some of the cities in terms of their population. So you can see here, London is the capital, that's the biggest. So the population of London is just over 7 million. Then you have Birmingham, which is the UK's second city that has a population just over 1 million. And then you have other cities like Glasgow, Liverpool, Bristol, Manchester, and slowly they get smaller in size in terms of population. But this is just to give you an idea of what the UK is like and the variety of locations that you can consider if you wanted to study there. But as I mentioned earlier on, geographically, UK is not very big. So even if you were based in London in the south, or even if you're based in, say, for example, Edinburgh, Glasgow in Scotland in the north, to travel across the UK is not going to take you very long. So it really is another reason why I would recommend the UK as a study destination. It's so easy to get around and so many different places to see there. So that was the key reasons why I think you should consider the UK as a study destination. If any of you are very keen to study abroad, then we would be obviously willing to help you through that process. So Intake is, as I mentioned in the introduction, it's a global education consultancy. We've established 1993, and we have over 33 offices across the world in 9 countries, including the UK. We offer free SOP guidance to students. Our advisors can also help you with application process. All of our services are free. And once you do apply and you get the offer for the university that you want, we will then also provide you free information and guidance on visa application, how to travel, accommodation, and all the things that need to be completed in order to arrive at your university. So these are the contact details of our office based in Pune. So if ever any of you need any further information or advice, you can either visit our website, or what I would recommend is contact the office directly, and one of our advisors will be able to contact you and have a discussion with you. And as I mentioned, all of the services are free, so there's no obligation. If you just want further information, do feel free to contact them, and they will be happy to help you. And then finally, very shortly on the 20th of November, we are actually organizing an online exhibition for studying in the UK. So we have over 20 top universities from the UK joining us for this event. So if any of you are interested and you want to talk to university representatives about studying at that university, whether you meet the requirements for the course, please register for our exhibition, and one of our advisors will contact you, and then they can check with you your grades and your background, and if suitable, you'll be able to speak with universities directly online about the course you want to study and whether or not you can apply. So that was the end of my talk for you. I hope you found it informative, and now we will hopefully have an opportunity for a question and answer session, or any questions that you have related to studying abroad. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now the session is open for the question and answer. The student, if you have any query, you can ask to the sir. You can also put your query in the chat box.
Hello, sir. I'm having one queries. Most of the time, the student asks me, sir, if you go for higher studies at any country, or specifically now just you have explained the top 10 reasons to choose UK. The basic question in the mind of the student is what will be the expenditure for the admissions and all these?
Okay. So the 2 main costs that students will have when they're going to study abroad, one will be the tuition fee and one will be the living expenses. So those are the 2 key expenses that you will have. Now, this cost, it will really vary based on which university you decide to go to, and also where the location of that university is. So say, for example, the cost of study in the UK for tuition fee, it can vary. I would say if you want to do postgraduate program, depending on the ranking of the university as well, the higher the ranking, the higher the fee is going to be for some university. But typically in the UK, most course fees, they'll begin from anything from say £10,000–12,000, anything up to £25,000–30,000 per year for postgraduate courses, depending on what the course is and depending on the ranking of the university. But what we would normally do is we would normally ask the student first, what is your budget? And then based on your budget, we can advise them, well, if you've got this much money, then these are the universities that will fit your budget. And the same also applies for living expenses. So for living expenses, typically, if you're going to be based in London, at least for 1 year, you'll need to demonstrate around 11 to 12,000 pound when you want to study abroad per year. If you're living outside of London, then it will come slightly lower. And again, with your living expenses, it will vary. So if you decide that you want to live in university accommodation, that might be slightly higher. If you live outside the university in private accommodation, that can be slightly lower. If you're going to be doing your own cooking, buying your own shopping, which is what I do,
Yeah.
your food expenses and your eating expenses will be lower. But if you decide you're going to eat out every day, you're going to go to a restaurant, then your living cost is going to be higher. I would say the UK, it can be reasonable. If you want to go to, if you've only got a smaller budget, then there are a number of universities that we can select for you where the tuition fees are lower, and also the location of that university is not so expensive as well. So I think whatever the budget of a student is, we would be able to find a suitable university in the UK for them to study at.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So it's
And
like a specific figure because it really depends which university they go and which location. I think
location.
at minimum, if they wanted to go, let's say, to a course that is not so expensive and a location that is also not expensive as well, at minimum, you're probably looking at around £25,000 maybe. So that's about 25 lakh for a 1 year program. But if you want to go to, let's say, a slightly higher ranked university and the course is a bit more popular and it's based in a city, then I would imagine probably anything from 35 to 40 lakh you're probably looking at.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Students, do you?
Yes. So there is a question from the Amay. What are the different exams that we need to clear to get into the UK universities?
Okay. So when you apply to a UK university, I'm assuming this is for postgraduate study, yes? For postgraduate level, for masters
Yes.
or MPhil or research, yeah?
Yes, for masters.
Okay. So for a master's course in the UK, when majority of the universities, when you apply, there's certain key criteria you need to meet. So for many universities, there isn't actually an exam that you need to do. In most universities, what you need to do first is you need to have your SOP, your personal statement. So that's a document where you have to explain why do you want to go to that university? Why do you want to do that course? And what's the outcome that you're looking for in terms of your future career? How is it going to benefit you? So that's one of the first things that you'll need in order to apply. The second information that you will also need is your academic transcripts and your certificates for your qualifications. So if you're looking to do a master's program, majority of the university will want to see your transcript for your bachelor's degree. So each year study, your first year, second year, third year, fourth year. If you're still studying and you're in your final year, then they will accept the previous 3 years transcripts. And they're going to be looking at what grade you've achieved. And normally each university will set an entry requirement for their program or for the institution. So it may be that they set a certain percentage, could be 50%, 60%, 70%. Each university sets its own requirement, and that information is normally available on the website. Or if you were to come and speak with one of our advisors, we would be able to tell you that if you want to do that course there, this is the grade that you will need in your bachelor degree. So the academic transcripts are also a key part of the application. And if you've already graduated, then you'll need to show your final transcript with your final result and also your certificates as well from the university. But if you're still studying in your final year, then you just need to provide your 3 years transcripts. The next set of documents that students need to provide is letter of recommendation. So this will normally need to be from their institution, from their university. And it should, in most cases, it really should be from an academic that has taught them or knows them very well. So that reference letter, it should highlight how the academic knows that student and whether or not they feel that they are suitable and recommended to study in the UK, and also whether they feel that they are recommended to study on that program. So that recommendation, in many cases, that can be provided afterwards for some universities, but it will be something that's required by most universities. And then the other area, which is a key requirement, is that students need to meet English language requirement. for the university. Now, this can be assessed in a variety of ways. Some universities, if a student has done English in their grade 12 in their high school and they have a good grade, they may accept that in order to get entry to the university. Other universities will want students to provide evidence of English language assessment, some kind of test or accepted qualification. So typical qualifications English tests can include IELTS, Pearson English for many universities as well, TOEFL English. So I would say typically in the UK, IELTS is probably the one that's taken more commonly by students who want to go there. So the grade for the IELTS, it will vary across universities and program. For some universities, they may be wanting students to achieve 6 overall and 6 in each band. Other universities may be looking for 6.5. And for some courses, and maybe some more competitive institutions, they may be looking for IELTS 7. I would say typically most universities are looking anything from 6 to 6.5 for most courses. So when you apply to the university, not all universities require the IELTS to begin with. This is something that can be sent afterwards. But the main documents that you will first need when you apply are your statement of purpose and your academic transcripts that demonstrate your academic ability and what grade you currently have. So those are the key documents that will normally be requested.
Sir, there is one more question from the Vaishnavi. Sir, after the master, what is the job opportunity for the pharmacist?
So for individuals that study pharmacy in the UK, if you want to become a pharmacist, there's certain qualification and assessment that you need to have. So typically in the UK, when a student want to become a pharmacist, they need to have done an MPharm. So that's normally 4 to 5 years in the UK. And then there's additional qualifications that sometimes you have to go through after that, and you have to have experience of clinical as well. So if a student wanted to become a pharmacist in the UK and they studied in India, they probably would need to do some kind of conversion study before they're able to practice in the UK. Or they may need to do some kind of conversion course in the UK, or do certain assessments or demonstrate that they have the required skills, and particularly the clinical experience as well, in order to practice in the UK. But say, for example, if they went to the UK and they did an MPharm in the UK, or a conversion course, like a postgraduate program, a lot of the universities try to include that clinical experience as part of the course. Or sometimes they will have the relevant contacts in order to enable students to get that experience. I hope that answers that question. And as I mentioned earlier on, now there is the opportunity with the graduate route, with the post-study work scheme, for students to spend that additional 2 years after they completed their studies as well to work.
Okay, sir, there is a question from the Vijay. Is there any kind of the block account needed that we need to that block account for the Germany? So it is also applicable for the UK?
Sorry, if you could repeat that, what you meant by block account?
Yes, Vijay.
Rahul,
Vijay, unmute yourself and you can ask directly.
Jagjeet, they are asking about the visa. Before visa, they need to show amount, right?
Okay, so
Yeah.
when you apply for a student visa for the UK, before you can apply for a student visa, the first thing that you need to do is apply for the university course that you want to study. Once you've applied for the course, once you have met all the requirements, so once you've met the academic requirement and also the English language requirement, the university will then issue you with an unconditional offer. That means you've met the requirements for the university and they want you to study there. Once you've accepted that offer, and in some cases, the university will want students to pay a deposit just to secure the offer. Once you've done that, the university will send the student something referred to as a CAS, which is an email which outlines that the student is going to be studying on this course. This is what the tuition fees are. This is what we expect students to arrive. This is how long the course is going to be for. So when a student has that, they can apply for their visa. When they apply for the visa, that's the stage then when they need to demonstrate that they have their funds available to support them, both for their tuition fee and also for their living expenses. So the tuition fee for the course, that will be listed on their offer, and on their CAS, it will demonstrate this is how much money the course is going to cost. And then for living expenses, there's two amounts. There's one amount if you're living in London, and then there's one amount if you're living outside of London. So depending on where the student is studying, they'll need to demonstrate that they have that amount of money available. Now, usually they need to demonstrate that by having access to those funds, and it needs to be available to them. They need to show, for example, let's say it's their parent, let's say they're self-funding, they're going to pay for it themselves. They would need to demonstrate within their bank account that they've had that money there for at least 28 days before they apply for their visa. If, for example, it's their parents, and I would imagine in most students' cases, their parents are going to be the ones who are supporting them. If it's the parents who are supporting them, then they would need to demonstrate that they have that total figure for tuition fee and living expenses within their own bank account, and it's been there for at least 28 days before you apply for the student visa. And then the third option is obviously those students who are going to be applying for some form of education loan. They would need to have the evidence that their education loan has been approved and that it's sufficient in order to cover them for their study in terms of both tuition and living expenses. So I hope that answers that question.
Yes, sir. Sir, there is one more question from the Pritish. Sir, are the stipend payment are only for the intern and the trainee? What are the method for the getting this stipend?
Do you mean scholarship?
Yes.
Okay. So when you apply for the program at the university, or even when you're just doing your research for courses, most university websites will tell you which scholarships are available. So at the moment, lots of universities are giving students from India automatic scholarship, anything from £2,000 to £3,000, regardless of which course they apply for. There's other courses where the scholarship may be higher and it may be course specific. So it might be the case that the university is giving scholarships to all Indian students, but if you apply for a certain course, that course might be offering a scholarship of 4,000 or 5,000 higher. So students need to do their research first, look at which subject they want to study, and then look at a variety of universities to see which universities are offering scholarships and what form. The other scholarship that I mentioned to you is one where you have to actually apply. So this is where you apply for the course, and then once you've applied, then you can apply for the scholarship, and you have to fill in an application form. But typically, it's normally awarded in the form of a tuition fee discount. So let's say your tuition fee is £20,000, and you've got a £3,000 scholarship from the university. They will simply reduce your tuition fee to £17,000. So that's how most scholarships are awarded to students. There's not that many scholarships that are given to students towards their living expenses. Normally, student would be expected to provide for that themselves.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, I had a doubt.
Yes, please ask your question.
Yeah. So right now we are doing PharmD, and after this, if we go abroad, we want to do masters in surgery. So for that, what is the duration of the course? And according to you, what will be the expenditure we'll face?
So typically courses related to medicine and life sciences do tend to be higher because normally they have practical elements to them as well. In order to apply for the course, you need to have completed your bachelor degree with a good grade and a good GPA, and obviously meet English language requirements as well. But certain courses will have certain specific requirement. So normally, if you've already studied in a related field, then it's more possible for you to apply for that postgraduate program. So if you've already done your pharmacy degree here in India, and then you're applying for a master's in pharmacy or related to pharmacy, you're more likely to be considered for that course and have an opportunity to study there because you will have studied the relevant modules to get onto that program. But if the course that you're studying is in a different field, then you would need to look at the entry requirement because it might only be open to students from certain backgrounds. So the answer to your question is that if you want to study master's program related to medicine in the UK, the first thing is you need to consider is, do you have the relevant academic background in order to get onto that course? Because at master's level, the entry requirements tend to be more specific. They'll normally want somebody with relevant experience, either through their study or through relevant work experience. There are some courses which are referred to as conversion program, where you can apply to it from a non-relevant background. But it really depends on which course you want to study. So again, if you were to come and speak with one of our advisors and tell them which course you want to study, they'll be able to advise you based on your grades and your background, which universities would accept you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there is a last question from the Tushar. After completion of the PharmD in India, how to work as a clinical pharmacist means in the clinical sector in the UK?
Okay. I think I kind of touched on that in the previous question. So individuals that want to become pharmacists in the UK, they have to go through a specific process in terms of having the relevant qualification. It's both academic and also clinical practice as well. And then they have to go through certain registration process as well. So if you've already completed your MPharm here in India, what we would first need to do is we would need to look at the requirements in the UK in terms of converting that to be eligible for the UK. In some cases, it might be a case that you have to do additional study or some kind of conversion course or some kind of assessments to demonstrate you've met all the requirements that are required by UK pharmacists in order to practice. But what I can do is I can do some research for you, and then I'll send the information through to Rahul that specifically for students from India, if you've done your MPharm from India, what would you need to do in order for that to qualify to do pharmacy in the UK? So I'll do some research for you, and then I'll forward that to Rahul, and he'll be able to forward that to yourselves to share with your students.
Yes, sure, sir.
Because it really varies country to country. Everybody's the standards in India and other markets and how they deliver their pharmacy programs and the content that's covered, it can vary quite a lot. So I'll do some research for you to try to identify if you've got the full MPharm from India and you want to just go straight to the UK and practice, is there any additional tests or assessments or qualifications that you need to do before doing that? And then I'll be able to share that information with Rahul.
Yes, sure, sir.
Were there any further questions?
No, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to conclude the session that the Mr. Jagjit Singh has enlightened the student with the education in the UK. The sir has talked on the ranking and the universities, variety of the universities, the variety of the courses, and the scholarship, then the graduate route, and the UK culture. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure to meet you all. And as mentioned, if following this, if there are any further questions, please do just contact Rahul, and then we will respond back to you with any questions that you have. And I look forward to hopefully presenting on different topics for you in the future, if you do want that.
Sure.
For PhD,
Yes.
research
Yes,
proposal,
sure,
any of
sir.
the topics, I'd be happy to deliver it for you.
Yeah, sure, sir. We need your guidance and the kind of your expertise and basically what I like. You are very generous to share the knowledge. I like the most the best quality you are having, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you very much for having both myself and Rahul, and we look forward to doing future events together. Thank you very much, and good luck to everybody with your studies.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Now toward the end of this session, I thanks to Mr. Jagjit Singh for share the valuable time and guiding our students for the oversee the education. Also thanks to PD Chaudhary sir, the principal of Modern College of Pharmacy, Nigri, and Dr. Egbote sir, the chairman of the PES Society, for the encouraging the students and the support. I extend my thanks to the Mr. Devendra sir. Then I conclude this webinar. Webinar is end. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you once again. Goodbye to everybody.
Rohini madam, can we have photographs?
Yes, sir. Students, please
everybody, please start your videos. Rahul sir. Thanks to Rahul sir for providing us such a nice guest speaker. Okay, and would like to have more sessions from sir. And you also, Rahul, you always help us. So we will have more sessions in future also.
You're most welcome, sir. I'm happy to help you.
Thank you. Rojni madam, once you finish with the photographs, please let us know.
Yes, sir.
Okay, a lot of students there.
Yes.
I'll actually be coming to India very shortly. So hopefully I'll be coming to Pune. I think in a few weeks, few months time. If the opportunity, we
Okay.
hope to be able to visit.
Yeah, please, sir, please, you'll be most welcome.
Yes, sir. I take the photograph.
Okay. Thanks, Rahul. Thanks, sir. Okay.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye. Yeah. Happy Diwali to everybody.
Yes, happy Diwali also to everybody.
Happy Diwali, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Rahul, sir. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jagjit Singh.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye.